what is your purpose in life?
Okay.
Okay, and when you answer that, I'd also like to just ask you if there is a purpose in your
Sure.
life. How do you know that this is my purpose? How do you know for sure that this is your purpose? So that's
Okay.
kind of my question.
Okay. Yeah, Rishi, it's very simple. If you're asking me what my purpose in life is, I can answer it in one question: moksha.
Okay.
Alright. So people get little confused. What is this moksha? It's very simple. It's realizing my own divinity, realizing who I am, and merging with that. Now, this also sounds really abstract. It sounds quite vague. What the hell does this mean, realizing my divinity? Most people have a concept of who they are. My name, my shape, my
Gender.
profession, my gender, who I am. And the entire life is lived thinking that I am only that. But there is something more than what is visible to our organs of senses and to our normal way of thinking. And that is actually what we call spirituality, going beyond the senses and finding out who I really am. And that is the spiritual journey. So my purpose is to travel on this journey and find out who I really am. And once I find out who I really am, that means I find out that I am actually the source. I am divine. I am not this outer appearance. So I move from this gross reality to a more subtle reality, to a more subtle truth of who I am.
Oh.
And moving from an identity that I am a person to the identity that I am divine. I'm a divine being. See, we have got a human birth, but most of us are not even living with humane values. Many people, as human beings, are living with animalistic tendencies or animalistic behavior also. So this journey which I am on, this purpose of my life, is gradually moving from animal tendencies or animal existence to becoming more human, and not ending there, from becoming human to realizing that actually I'm a divine being.
How do you know this for sure?
Yeah, let me give you a little example first of this, because it's so vague that it's too difficult to grasp, and because it's so difficult to grasp, people don't want to venture into this. So very simple example.
Right.
Suppose I go to live in a new town, some small town in rural India maybe, and I want to go and buy some milk. So first I will go and buy in any place, from any dairy. And that milk may not be of good quality. It may have some impurities, it may have some dirt, it may be diluted with water, so it's not very pure. And I may continue to consume this milk, drink this milk without knowing that there is anything better available.
Okay.
But I may not, and I may be content also with that.
Okay.
But a time may come when I'm thinking I need to find something better than this. Why am I having this? I'm not feeling content with this. So I start looking for inputs to find better milk.
Okay.
So I go and find that there is this other place where better milk is available, and I now find that my milk is richer, it has got cream, it is deeper, it's more fulfilling.
So in the area
Wait.
Okay.
Now I may be content there also, but if I start taking this cream and churning it a little bit, I find that from this cream I can produce butter, right?
Yes.
and this butter is more tasty and it's more delicious and it's more flavorful, and I may be content there also. But I can take it further and I can melt this butter and I can produce ghee, which is clarified butter. After butter, I can get ghee, and after ghee, that is my purest form. I cannot, process it into any other form. Now, ghee is the final product. Our life is something like this. In the beginning, we may be consuming any kind of milk. My life is either pure, impure, watered down, tasty, not tasty, sometimes good milk, sometimes bad milk. But people are sometimes just content being over there. They don't see that there is any need for me to go search, find better quality milk, make my life richer. So they are content there. But if I have this urge to improve the quality of my milk or the quality of my life, I will search.
Sure.
And then I will find cream, because I will be putting some better feed into the cow. I will have better stable, better environment, and my rich milk will produce cream, and I will have a better quality of life. People are quite happy having a better quality of life, but some feel, why not try to get something better? They need to come out of their comfort zone. They need a little churning in their life, manthan, which we call. Some ups, some downs, some search, intense search, some things happening in their life which may be unpleasant. But finally, from that unpleasant environment, the butter will rise to the top. You will get butter. Your life will become even more delicious. Alright? And then, from that butter, and many people in spiritual journey get stuck over there. Then the last stage is required, where you have to melt the butter. You have to apply heat. And butter, ghee is clarified butter. There is a purification process. All the solids will fall off, burn off. And what you will be left with, that pure essence, which is your divinity. So this is the process. As you asked me for my purpose, this is my process.
Correct.
To go from impure milk, watered down milk, to that pure essence ghee.
Okay.
Which is fragrant,
yes,
which is delicious,
right,
which merges into the dal when you put it in. There's no separateness. It is just coming to one with my divine.
Fine.
How do I know this for sure?
Yeah.
Your question.
Yes.
How do I know this for sure?
Yeah.
How do you know you're a male?
I have a penis.
Okay. So how do you know that that is a sign of manhood?
Well, as I was growing up, and maybe education is the process.
Education, so some book
book
on anatomy, some science
some food,
lecture,
right,
something.
Yeah.
Similarly,
Yeah.
in the spiritual journey,
Yeah.
you also have textbooks which tell you this. So if you go to any of the scriptures, whether they are scriptures of Vedanta, or whether they're scriptures of Buddhism, or whether they're scriptures of, whether it's Bhagavad Gita, all the scriptures from time immemorial, from the Greeks, it has been given that this is the purpose of your life, to take yourself from the gross outer conditioning, go within, know yourself. The Greek oracles have said it. Know yourself. If you try to analyze all the different teachings, it all boils down to this one essence: know who you are. And there is a process. Each scripture gives you the process of eliminate what you're not, eliminate what you're not, understand what you're not, so that you can understand who you are. So it's a question of going to the scriptures and reading about it. Some people will say, but I can't read these scriptures, I don't understand them. I don't know the language, or it's too boring to read, or it takes too long to read. All right, then go to someone who has read. Go to an enlightened master who has read, who has walked down that path, who has experimented with that knowledge and has proof in his presence that this is achievable. This is the path, this is the goal, this is the path, this is why you're here, this is the method, follow it.
So I have a question here, if it's okay to
Sure.
just button here, which is when a master or some guru says that I know, it doesn't matter whether you know, but I know that this is it, okay, that this is, I'm sure about something.
Yeah.
So somebody has some experience that says it. That's one thing, okay. Whether the source is from a human being or whether the source from textual scriptures or any other holy book, there's always the disconnect of how do I know for sure?
Correct.
So
and
that's why I'm
that takes
asking
me to
you.
the third point.
Huh.
That takes me to the third point. The
Which
first is you read the scriptures
Fine.
yourself.
That's fine.
Second, I can't read. Okay, I'll
You
ask
go to
this
somebody.
person.
But how do you know for sure?
Now I cannot trust this also. I'm
Right.
not sure. I still have a doubt.
Yeah.
How?
Exactly.
Experiment. Experiment. See,
So,
don't
in your
dismiss
case-
without experimenting.
Right.
Now this guru is telling me I must do this. This
can
is
you-
the purpose.
So can you share some
yeah, of course,
example of how you
100%.
knew for sure?
100%.
Okay.
So, I've been on this journey
Right.
for, I would say, the better part of my life. And so, I first experimented
Okay.
with books, couldn't understand, or experimented with a little bit of what I could understand.
Okay.
Didn't take me too far.
Okay.
Took me a little bit, and then again you get stuck.
Okay.
Then I've been seeking from many masters.
Yeah.
Every time I would learn something, I would experiment with that.
Right.
It would take me a little further.
Right.
Again, I would get stuck.
Okay.
Take a little further. Again, I would get stuck.
Right.
Then, one good thing about me personally is that I'm ready to experiment.
Okay.
So I take the truth, I put it into my life.
Yeah.
It's a question of seeing whether it works for me. How do I know it works for me? I know it works for me if it is taking me to a deeper understanding, if it is taking me to a higher level of calmness, a higher level of stillness. Okay, by doing this, has my clarity come in my thought a little better? Now if I go back to that same book which I could not read earlier, I'm able to read it better. I'm able to fit all the puzzles of this big, all the pieces of this big puzzle together. Yeah, it's making sense now. I am feeling a higher sense of calmness. I am feeling a sense of bliss. I am actually experiencing what these books are talking about.
And if you were to boil it down to just an experience, is there one specific thing, or it's a series of experience over a series of years that have just increased the confirmation? I know this for sure now. I'm on. I know my purpose in life. Is it a series of experiences, or
A series of experiences
Yes.
leads you to one major experience.
And can you share that with us, or is that something personal?
It's very personal.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically a feeling of knowing for sure. It's a feeling of, I don't want to describe it, because frankly it's not describable, but it's a feeling of just knowing for sure. And even when I tried to explain this to my guru, to Swamiji, he said, I understood. No need to try to explain it any further. So it was something he could recognize what I was trying to say, because I'm literally trying to say to him, but I cannot say. And the fact is that the quality of my life is I'm flying. And I do not like to talk about it, because then it sounds like I'm trying to
Market it,
and I don't care if anyone understands it or not, because I'm living it, and it's a subtleness to your life. It's a feeling that
So an analogy would be that some person was having water and enjoying water, and it's great. And then the first time one tastes sugar and says, "Whoa!" What's
yeah, and
that?
how do I explain the taste of sugar to anyone?
You can't.
You
You
can't.
have to experience.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this is something you have to
Something like-
experience,
okay.
and that experience is not like any other experience you have ever experienced.
So to give an analogy becomes impossible.
Impossible. Impossible.
I see. Okay.
And I really wish that you would experience it, because this is something I want everyone to experience, and that is what I do in my life, is just make it conducive for people to reach that point, and you can't make them experience.
Yes.
You can only direct
Facilitate.
them, point them in the right direction, give them inputs,
But the journey
and
is there.
journey you have to walk yourself.
Great.
Sorry, I can't be more specific than that.
Okay.